Today we look at the top 10 explorations in World of Warcraft that I personally have explored. This list will not cover some of the immaculate places such as the original Dragon Isles or anything like that, or GM Island, anything like that, because I've not been there. Instead, since this video is technically a 1,000 subscriber special and we have way shot past that recently and it's been crazy, I decided to make the top 10 specifically about areas that I have explored. They may or may not have been covered on the channel, and again, I can't say if the area is worth exploring if I do not know if you can even explore it anymore. Really quickly, before we jump in, I do want to say thank you for all the support on the channel, as obviously I wouldn't have 1,000 subscribers special if we didn't hit 1,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate that. It's truly been incredible how much the channel has grown. To learn more about how you can support the channel, I'm just going to leave that at the end of the video, so let's move on. Let's get started with the video. Let's begin the top 10 explorations that I personally explored in the world. Number 10.
Hope you have a strong stomach. Traveling through the breach is not for the weak.
Deepholm is one of the easiest places to glitch out of bounds in all of World of Warcraft. You literally only need to use some sort of jump spell, so warrior, rogue, demon hunter. You need to get to the top of the map and you can jump out of it. Pretty easy. However, even though it's one of the easiest areas to glitch out of bounds, there is a ton to see out here. The area is absolutely massive. There are secret caverns here that are typically inaccessible except through secret puzzles, and there are weird squares of textures that the developers seem to test with. There are even leftover NPC models, and these types of out-of-bounds things are some of the best to see in all of World of Warcraft. They're some of my favorite assets to see in any out-of-bounds area, so Deepholm has it all. You can also fly out here in some areas, which makes exploring even more enjoyable, as most out-of-bounds areas do not allow you to fly, and they take forever to explore. I recommend anyone to explore this area, but even though it's on my top 10 list, there are certainly more interesting areas to explore in my opinion. Though again, this is number 10 out of like 100 explorations I've done, so that's pretty high up here. Number 9.
Let them come. Witness the fate of those who stand against one worthy of wielding the power of a titan.
Number 9 is now Therians Lair. And this one, I've actually recorded all the exploration in the entire instance that I want. I actually did this with Senpai the Explorer, one of my fellow content creators, however you want to call that. I don't know. Anyway, she makes great videos. Check her channel out. But I still haven't made a video on this place because it is massive. It is in the pipeline, but it will take a significantly long time to edit, and therefore it hasn't been completed yet. But this place is absolutely massive. You know the cities in the far background of the instance? You can actually get there and explore them yourself. There's also an entire outside section of this map that can be climbed pretty darn high. I can hardly wait to show this place off, so look forward to a video on this place in the fairly near future. One sneak peek of this area that I will show off is that there actually is an NPC model of an orc, which I have never seen an orc. I've seen gnomes, I've seen humans, I've seen not an orc. Pretty darn weird find, and it was incredibly lucky to find this, as there is literally about 10 pixels of land underneath this person that I was able to hit. It was pretty incredible. Let's move on to number 8. Number 8.
Cast them down! Let the scavengers below feed on their pulp.
Skyreach. I have made part 1 of my exploration here, but I still have not finished part 2, as one of my exploration tools was accidentally fixed by Blizzard. So I've got to figure out another way to continue exploring this area. In order to get to the out of bounds area, you have to go really far. And so there's a couple items that it's got like a 1% drop rate. I don't have time to sit there and kill a mob that spawns every couple of hours 50 times. I do not have that kind of time. So if you've seen that first episode, you will know that there are some pretty cool discoveries out here, such as these Delete Me cubes, and there's also one of the most terrifying NPC models I've ever seen, which is this terrifying gnome, as I mentioned earlier, that I've seen a gnome. This is the gnome I was talking about. This thing is just horrifying. I plan to get back here soon, guys. It takes a while to make these videos. I don't have a lot of time. I've got a baby, got a dog, got a wife, got a job, you know, I actually do work outside of YouTube, believe it or not. This is a pretty fun exploration, but there are still 7 left to talk about, so enough getting off topic here. Number 7.
My demise accomplishes nothing! The Master will have you! You will drown in your own blood! The world shall burn! Ah!
Number 7 is the Magisters Terrace. Now, this out-of-bounds exploration did pretty darn poorly on my channel, and I'm really not entirely sure why. It's by far one of my favorite places to explore in the entire game. I mean, it's number 7 out of like 100 that I've done, so again, it's pretty high up there. Getting out of bounds in the Magisters Terrace allows us to explore the entire Isle of quel'thalas, and includes the entire Sunwell Plateau within the Isle of quel'thalas. Yes, the entire raid exists here, although it is in various stages of completeness. Some of the doors are closed, some of the areas just have weird invisible walls, but the most amazing part of this exploration is that there are NPCs that you see in little cutscenes using the scrying orb here, and they're all here, and some will even follow you with their heads, though you can't interact with them. Really strange discovery I made. I could spend a lot of time talking about the Magisters Terrace, but we need to move on. Number 6.
You will die.
Prepare for the return of the Ancient Ones. Sands of the desert, rise and block out the sun.
Number 6 is Temple of Entourage and the Ruins of Entourage. Now, I'm lumping these two explorations together just because they're both incredible. They're not the same instance, but they're in the same, they're within 100 feet of each other. So I couldn't leave one in here. I couldn't just put like number 5 and number 6, Entourage, and number 5 is the Ruins of Entourage. That'd be boring. Let's get another exploration here. But anyway, enough ranting. They're both incredible places, and I have done a video on Entourage, but not the Ruins of Entourage. That one is actually coming relatively soon. I can't say how soon, but it is coming soon. These two raids are ridiculously bizarre, and they are also beautiful at the same time while looking at them from the outside. They are eerie, and at some point when exploring the Ruins of Entourage, I honestly started getting super disorientated. I got a little indifferent in my life. I felt as though I was lost in some alternate universe. It's just weird. That exploration it felt like I was in there for days, and I was only in there for like 4 or 5 hours, but I felt like I was there for days. Number 5 is much more grounded though, and one that I think most people really, really enjoy exploring. So let's get on to that one. Number 5.
Thrall, you didn't really think you would escape, did you? You and your allies shall answer to Blackmoor, after I've had my fun.
Number 5 is the escape from Dernhold Keep, Old Hillsbrad Foothills, the escape from Dernhold Keep, whatever you want to call this place. Has to be my favorite out-of-bounds instance to explore in all of the Caverns of Time. We're talking better than Mount Hyjal, we're talking better than all the other ones, In Time, all of them. I mean, In Time has, is it In Time or Hour Twilight? It's In Time. In Time has a Dalaran inside of it, or I think it's actually, I think it is In Time. In Time has a Dalaran inside of it, and yet I prefer to explore Dernhold Keep. And I could have made this list entirely of dungeons and raids in the classically beautiful, cavernous expanse of the Caverns of Time, but that would not have made for a very good video because that would have been 8 of the 10 slots, which, I mean, wow. The escape from Dernhold Keep, though, definitely beats all the rest. This out-of-bounds area covers 6 different vanilla, yeah, you heard that right, not retail, vanilla zones. Obviously, Hillsbrad Foothills, because it's the old, duh. Then there's the Altaric Mountains, Silver Pine Forest, Hinterlands, Western Plaguelands, and Arathi Highlands. You can explore a good majority. Western Plaguelands is very small, but you can explore a good majority of those zones. So exploring this place hit me right in the nostalgia, since the zones are now completely different, thanks to good old Deathwing. This is my favorite place to explore in the Caverns of Time, but not my overall favorite exploration. We are getting close though. Number 4.
Used me for his purpose and left me here. bereft of memory for how long? It matters not. Time, after all, is not a construct of death.
Number 4 is actually Torghast. Torghast, Tower of the Damned. Might come as a surprise to some people to see it this high in the list, but it is definitely a very cool place to explore, a very difficult place to explore. I was shocked at what I found when I broke out of bounds here. I wasn't really expecting a whole lot. I didn't know what to expect. I thought maybe every single place you go into was just one instance, and it was a small instance, but this place is absolutely massive. Every single Torghast level is on the same map. It is ridiculous. It is massive. It's a fantastic place to explore, but I definitely have to come back here as it's going to take many hours to complete this exploration. It might be the longest exploration I have ever done in my life. Much quicker exploration lands us at number 3. Number 3.
You will come no further, forsaken scum. By the war banner of our ancient Greymane clan, I expel you from our ancestral lands.
Number 3 is Gilneas, the zone of Gilneas, and no, not the ruins of Gilneas. In my video, a lot of people were like, well, you can go to Gilneas. No, you cannot go to Gilneas. Gilneas and the ruins of Gilneas are two completely separate zones. I actually have explored Gilneas and I've explored the ruins of Gilneas on my Blood Elf Demon Hunter. So this has to be my one of my new favorite places to explore in all of World of Warcraft. When Cataclysm first came out, my favorite part of the expansion, being a huge lore fan, was by far the two new I almost said something completely different. Was by far the two new added races. Goblins are okay, but Worgens have such a deep history in Warcraft. The unfortunate thing about the two new races, though, is that they have these amazing starting zones, Gilneas and the Isle of Khazan and the Lost Isles. They get destroyed like right afterwards, and you can really never come back. So when someone showed me a way to break back into Gilneas, I had to do it. I had to explore it. I had to show it off. And there's actually some really unique stuff here, such as Worgens that are pre-Cataclysm. I mean, when Cataclysm came out, these Worgens weren't in Gilneas, but they're here. So these are alpha Worgens, which is really cool. If you get into Gilneas and you're not a Worgen, you'll actually be phased to the beginning of the Worgen questline. The wall is still up. Everything is still before the Cataclysm. It's really, really cool. So, and again, I was able to do this as a Blood Elf, as a Horde. There's some unique stuff there that you can't do as an Alliance. So I thought that was interesting. There are so many places to explore in World of Warcraft, and I have a long way to go before I've seen everything this game has to offer, which is why some of your guys' favorite explorations may not be in this list. Probably not, to be honest. I've got to do more Dune. There's a lot of Legion stuff that's just absolutely incredible, and I've got to do all those. There's secret islands that I have to visit. There's a lot to do, but this list is nearly done, so, this list will definitely change in the future. Let's move on to the top 2 explorations. Number 2 is...
If I'm going to die, I'm taking you all with me.
Deadmines. My semi-finale favorite place to explore in World of Warcraft so far is strangely the Deadmine. You might think this place would be boring, as it's such an early dungeon and players can go through here at a pretty low level, but as most explorers probably know, if you're a fellow explorer, you know this, the Deadmines holds one of World of Warcraft's greatest exploration treasures ever. It shows a pre-alpha concept of, I think, Outlands. Some say it could be the Emerald Dream, but I think it's Outlands. When I researched it, it did seem to be Outlands. It's a small-ish area, but just seeing something like this in the game after 18 years, it's still in here. Blizzard has not removed it, as far as I'm aware. I did this about a year ago. So as of 2022, maybe 2023, there are still alpha assets within World of Warcraft that you can visit. And that blew my mind. I never thought I would see this, but here we are. Okay, we have one final place to talk about for my personal top 10 exploration list. We have reached number 1. Stay tuned after this number 1 spot for some information about the channel's ways of support.
All I know is that my brethren and I hunger for something more.
Glad you could make it, Uther. Watch your tone with me, boy. You may be the prince, but I'm still your superior as a paladin.
As if I could forget. Listen, Uther. There's something about the plague you should know. Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead.
What?
This entire city must be purged.
How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city.
You are not my king yet, boy. Nor would I obey that command even if you were.
Then I must consider this an act of treason.
Treason? Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
Have I? Lord Uther, by my right of succession and the sovereignty of my crown, I hereby relieve you of your command and suspend your paladins from service.
Arthas, you can't just...
It's done!
Number 1, quel'thalas in Stratham. And I'm not talking about the instance of Stratham. I'm talking about the outside area of Stratham. Okay, you all knew this was coming. Stratham and quel'thalas was my very first exploration on this channel, and it really kicked off my dedication to exploration and making content YouTube videos about it. When I started committing to YouTube, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea. I tried so much. I tried making Let's Plays. My first 30 videos are a World of Warcraft Let's Play. They're all hidden. You guys can't see those for good reason. And I tried first experiences in video games like Among Us, stuff like that, Hearthstone. Those videos were bad. I also tried World of Warcraft update videos. These were fairly successful. I got about 100 views per video or so, maybe 70, 80, something like that. Well, one day I wanted to do some World of Warcraft exploration. I knew that it was possible to get past this barrier over in Stratham, and I used to watch Hill versus Babyface's videos. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I used to watch his videos whenever he explored through World of Warcraft. So I went ahead and recorded myself trying to glitch out of bounds here. And, well, that video is why we're here today, as it really kick-started the channel past 100 views per video. Every time I did an exploration, it got well over 100 views. And we're talking 500-600 views when I had like 50 subscribers. So, heck yeah, I'm gonna keep making videos on it. That's what I like to do. That's what people like to see. Heck yeah, quel'thalas, Stratham, you are the reason we are here. But this place is just amazing. It's surreal, it's serene, and Blizzard actually has added stuff to this, and it added stuff to this during Shadowlands. After 18 years of this place existing, they added stuff to it in Shadowlands. So the 2,000 subscriber video is going to include this, as it is the subscriber video that people voted on. Everyone had a bunch of votes. There was some really good interaction on those community posts, but the number one place that people wanted to see explored was a revisit to Stratham and quel'thalas. Since I have better equipment, I have more motivation, I know a little bit about what I'm doing, still learning a lot about YouTube, but I know a lot more than I did 3 years ago. So, yeah, voice crack. So yeah, you'll see a video on that within the next week. Maybe week and a half, 2 weeks, but I'm hoping next week I should be able to have that video out for you guys. I can't wait. I've already got 4 hours of video to comment over, so it's not going to be a 4-hour video, but it's going to take about 4 hours to record the audio for it. Well, that is it for my personal top 10 favorite explorations in World of Warcraft. Again, this is only covering the areas that I have explored, so this list will certainly change over time. You may see a top 10 all-time explorations of World of Warcraft, but that's not going to be for probably a year or so from now. Who knows where this channel will be in a year? I was expecting to be at 1,000 subscribers by end of May. That was my goal. 1,000 subscribers by the end of May, and we're way past that now. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you can feel free to like it so it reaches more explorers like yourself. And if you want to support further, now, if you're done with the video, you don't have to watch this. If you don't want to support the channel, that's perfectly fine. Now, I do want to talk about, I did launch a Patreon since we are at, I do want to talk about this Patreon since we're at the end of the video. This is the first video mentioning that Patreon, and I truly want to bring the best content to all of you. And I know it might sound weird from a person with 3,000 subscribers. I want to make this a job. I want to do this as a full-time job. I want to support my family with YouTube. And right now, I make way too much at my day job. So we're going to have to do some work. But none of this is required. None of this is even expected. If not a one person does the Patreon, I'm still going to make videos. They're not going to go away. So Patreon is the newest and best way to support the channel, though. There are many tiers. There's $1, $1.50, a $5, an $8, and a $15 tier. Now the $15 tier it's $15 for a reason. You will personally explore with me, and that takes a lot of time and effort, and I have a family and a daughter, so I'm literally taking time away from them to explore with you personally, and that's going to be a lot of fun, and I will record it if you want me to. And so tier, I don't expect really anyone to ever do the $15 tier, but I just wanted to mention that it is possible. I expect majority $1, $1.50 tiers. I expect almost all of my Patreons to be that. But if you want to support higher at a higher tier, you can. Anyway, that's it for all of that. And I do apologize that I had to shove this Patreon part at the end here, but I had to get it out. I made community posts, but those don't really reach a whole lot of people. And so again, if you want to be a part of the Patreon, please look at that. There's a link in the description. And that's it. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed my top 10 explorations. I'll see you. And thank you to my very first patron.